Man, I probably just watched like one of the worst movies I've ever seen in the past like probably decade. But I'm gonna start a new series of videos called "Rolling to the Movies," and you guys get the gist of what this is gonna be. But it's gonna be me talking about movies I've watched recently or in the past, and just me talking about them. But the first one I'm gonna talk about is a banger of a movie, man, and not in a good way, because this is the first time I've seen this movie, and I'm going to talk about it today. And woo, it is a stinky, stinky bad movie. But we are going to talk about Batman and Robin. Yes, that Batman and Robin, the one with the bat nipples, baby. Hell yeah! Let's get into it, baby, and talk about the bat nipples. But if you like this video, please leave a like and all that good stuff. You guys know the drill. Anyway, let's get on with this and talk about Batman and Robin and why this movie is so critically panned by fans and critics. Because I do have some thoughts on it, and I will elaborate on those. But quick little backstory about why I'm just not watching this. Okay, so Prime Day was a couple weeks ago, and I saw the Batman film collection on sale, 4K, for like $40 or something. So I was like, I'll put it in the cart. And didn't think anything of it. Well, my dad ordered some stuff. And it's like, hey, I ordered that Batman movie collection for you since it looked like it was a really good deal. Because it's usually like 60, $70. So I was all pumped about it because I haven't seen like the first three Batman movies in forever. I still haven't watched them in 4K yet. I will. But I was like, you know what? The first one I'm going to watch is Batman and Robin because I've never seen it. And I started late, like early this morning and just finished like the last 25 ish minutes, like just a couple hours ago. So, and going into it, I was like, okay, I'm going to go into this with an open mind, thinking that's going to be just as good, but a little bit worse than Batman Forever. Because I didn't hate Batman Forever, but I didn't love it either. It was an okay movie, but it wasn't as terrible as people say it is. But it was still a bad movie. But I thought it was a fun bad movie. Just like I think Double Dragon is a fun bad movie. But Street Fighter, no, that movie is just a bad movie altogether. Like Street Fighter is bad. I might do a video on that if this does well, but that's probably worse than this. But anyway, get back on topic here. So I went into it thinking like it can't be that bad. But boy was I wrong. Because whoo, it is really rough. And it's no fault of like George Clooney or Uma Thurman or Arnold Schwarzenegger or I can't remember the chick's name that plays Barbara or Batgirl. I'll get to why there's some contention with me there in a second. But oh my god, that really makes me mad. And Chris O'Donnell as Robin. All their performances were like fine, but like the main issue with the movie is that they leaned really heavily into it being more kid friendly and more like zany, weird stuff and like over the top reactions and just all these quippy, cheesy one liners from like Mr. Freeze. He would say, so like something is ice cold or whatever, or something like that, or yeah, I will freeze Gotham forever, or sort of like some weird. What the hell was the one that like had me laughing? It was like, God, what was it? It was like right at the beginning of the movie. It was so stupid that I paused it and laughed because it was so dumb. I don't remember what it was, but it was so dumb. But they really leaned heavily into like the kid friendly and like toy friendly aspect of this movie, because you can tell by like some of the camera angles and stuff that they were trying to like sell merchandise as well. And Batman Forever didn't even seem like that. Like Batman Forever was just a movie Joel Schumacher did, and it was it was okay at best. But like this just seemed like an overly like budgeted, like drawn out toy commercial, because they did all these weird dramatic zooms on like the Batmobile, like all the like grappling stuff. They would do dramatic zooms on every time, like they would when they first put on the bat suit and Robin suit. Like they did all these weird dramatic zooms in on their like their butts, their crotches. I'm not even kidding. They're like they're putting on the utility belt, and then like their chest plate had the infamous bat nipples, and they like zoomed in on those. Like you knew they were there, and I'm like, oh, that's the bat nipples. Okay, that makes sense. I was like, but Robin has nipples too. Why don't they call him like Why don't they mention the Robin nipples? Like, give him some love, man. He gets some Robin nipples. It's like, come on, man. But the bat nipples are more iconic because you can really, they're like really defined. It looks really weird. But according to Joel Schumacher, he did that because of like he wanted it to feel like a sculpted thing, like a sculpture. And he said like with sculptures, like the nipples on males and or females, either one, were always like defined and you could always tell they were there. And I was like, what's your point? It's a bat suit. It's not like like sculpted piece of art. Like Batman's suit is iconic. And that suit is iconic for the wrong reasons, for the bat nipples. And he even said, like, maybe the bat nipples were a mistake. Like, he realizes he made some big boo boos on this film. But, like, I think that's the one thing people are going to remember about the movies is the bat nipples. And just how bad the movie was, just story wise. Like, it could have been good, but, like, the way they have Poison Ivy, Uma Thurman get introduced is just kind of weird. She's kind of this quirky, like botanist. I'm pretty sure that's the right term for a plant scientist. I'm not very well versed on my scientist or like science branch of things, but pretty sure I'm right. But like she was always like she seemed like this like outcasted, like didn't really get a lot of funding from whatever, and she seemed kind of like super into plants. And then like uh what the hell was John Glover's character's name? I don't remember his character's name. Whoever he played, he like he was like creating Bane out of this random like dude he had kidnapped. So he like injected this random dude with like chemicals to make him like super buffing, like controllable. But then like he saw that um Poison Ivy, I don't remember her actual character name. I'm just gonna call her Poison Ivy. But he saw her and he was like, oh, I can't have any witnesses. So he like kind of kills her, but like he kills her and then like he pushes all this like plant stuff and chemical stuff like all over, like sets it on fire and like sets the lab on fire and whatnot. Or no, that she does that. Never mind. That's after that. Then like she randomly comes back and like she's covered in like plants and stuff, and her kiss is like poisonous, and like she kisses him and like, he like dies. It's like it like dies, and that's literally what he does. It's hilarious. And like then she just like sets the whole lab on fire and like frees Bane, and like she's with Bane the entire movie. Mind you, I had no idea Bane was even in this movie because no one really talks about Bane being in this movie. It's always like Mr. Freeze. And I honestly I forgot Poison Ivy was in this movie until I saw her. I was like, oh yeah, she's in this movie. Um, but like they break out and then they wind up meeting up with Mr. Freeze. Mind you, the first Mr. Freeze like dramatic fight was in the first like 20 minutes of the movie, and that's when I knew this movie was going to be bad. Within the first like 20 minutes, because the choreography was so bad, like all the jumping and like super high jumps and like that Mr. Freeze would do and the when he would hit them, like you could tell that it was like wires and stuff. Like it was just so poorly done. Like some of the special effects and stuff, it was just so poorly done. And the choreography with the fighting was really horribly done. Like it wasn't. It made Mortal Kombat Annihilation look like a John Wick movie, and that's saying something. Like none of the punches or kicks really looked like they were like impactful. It was just like super. It almost reminded me of like the Adam West era of Batman, which I think they were kind of going for, but it just didn't work. The campy aspect that they were going for, that comic book aspect that worked in the 60s, doesn't work in the mid 90s. Because that's not what people wanted with Batman. Even even Batman, like I said, Batman Forever wasn't even that campy from what I remember. But like Joel Schumacher and the studio are the ones that were like, oh, we wanted to sell toys and we wanted to be like a comic book. And he was even on set saying, remember people, it's a comic book action, and then they would do it. And that's why it's so over the top, because he gave them that direction. But it just it just doesn't work. It's not like Adam West Batman. It's George Clooney as Batman. And not to crap on George Clooney, but like he could have really given like the Batman part of Bruce Wayne more character to him. Like he just didn't seem to exude Batman when he was in the suit. He just seemed like Bruce Wayne wearing a Batman suit. He didn't seem like Batman. Michael Keaton, when he put on the bat suit and he was Bruce Wayne, you could tell he became Batman. Bruce became Batman. Michael became Batman. Now, like I said, Val Kilmer, I can't speak for that because it's been forever since I've seen Batman Forever, no pun intended. But from what I remember, he at least exuded some like brute kind of force to Batman. Like Batman was a force to be reckoned with. But like George Clooney just didn't seem to really grasp how he should portray Batman instead of like Bruce Wayne. Him as Bruce Wayne was fine, but like him as Batman, because Bruce Wayne and Batman are two different characters. The dichotomy between them is completely different. Bruce Wayne is a billionaire mogul guy that gets all the girls and has all this money, blah blah blah, has parents issues with his parents being dead. And then you get Batman, that's like this vigilante superhero after vengeance for his parents and stopping crime. But to me, that performance just didn't come across with Clooney. But like Chris O'Donnell was fine with Robin. Like I didn't mind him as Robin. Like whatever. Um, but touching on Barbara and Batgirl, I don't remember the actress's name that played Batgirl. I can't remember her name because I've never seen the movie before, so I'm not really versed on the cast. So, yeah, but This this has nothing to do with her performance. Her performance as Barbara and Batgirl was fine, I guess, for the most part. Like she was kind of flat in some parts, but like it's fine. It's the direction of the movie, I guess, because of how the movie was. So I can't be too harsh on her with that. But the one thing that bothers me about Barbara, her character, is that when notice I've just called her Barbara. I haven't said what her last name is yet. They don't really say what her last name is, but I assume she is a Pennyworth like Alfred because she calls him Uncle Alfred. So I assume that she's related to Alfred because she calls him Uncle Alfred. So, and she mentions like, or he mentions his brother and like all this other stuff. And I'm like, I was confused throughout, like, when she got introduced, I'm like, wait a minute. Did he just call her Barbara? Because I was like, okay, it's a coincidence. It's not going to be like the Barbara that's Batgirl. Because, like I said, mind you, I've never seen this movie. So I had no idea Batgirl was in this movie. Or if I did, I had completely spaced on it. Because it didn't make sense to me why Barbara was related to Alfred. That's not how her character is supposed to be. Like, yeah, you can take liberties with characters, but like, make it make sense. Like, how is she related to Alfred? Like, she doesn't. I'm not trying to like pigeonhole all like British people into having accents, but like, if she was really his niece and like her parents were British, don't you think she would be like have that kind of accent to her or a little bit of an accent at least? Even if she grew up in Gotham away from like the British accent, like you still think she would have been around her parents enough to pick up that accent to make it make sense. Cause I was like, cause when she knocked on the door, I was like, I'm looking for Alfred. I'm like, who is this? And she's like, Uncle Alfred. And he's like, Barbara. And I'm like, wait a minute, what? I was like, wait a minute, Barbara. And I was like, no. They can't be making her be Batgirl, right? That's what I was telling myself. And I was like, there's no freaking way. But that's what they did. And it's like, why? That's not her, that's not Barbara's origin. Barbara or Batgirl is Barbara Gordon. She is Commissioner Gordon's daughter, not Alfred Pennyworth's niece. She's not a Pennyworth. I just couldn't get past that. I was like, I get you can take liberties, but like that's one thing you don't want to do with a pretty established character like that. Like, I don't know that much about Batman, but I know that Barbara is not supposed to be related in any way to Alfred. Cause like think about this for a minute. Think how stupid this is. How would Batman or Bruce Wayne never have known that Alfred had a niece? Like, what? He never mentioned her before? Really? That's what you're gonna go with? That seems kind of like a dick thing to do, not mention your niece. Like, don't worry, sir. I have a niece somewhere, but you don't need to worry about her. No worries. Her name's Barbara, but she might show up in 10 years when I'm dying of some rare disease that'll get cured from Victor Freeze, even though he's evil. Yeah, that's how the movie ends. It's super weird. If you don't know Dr. Freeze's origins, I'll give you or Mr. Freeze, whatever, his origins. Basically, his wife is like frozen cryogenically because she's dying of some disease or something. This is in the movie. I'm not sure if this is what it is in the comics and the animated series or whatever, but from the movie, like he's trying to like get enough diamonds to like make the cure to like cure her and unfreeze her and cure her disease. Well, Alfred has that same disease, but it's in the early stages, and he's already had Mr. Freeze has the cure for the disease already if it's in the early stages. Bruce finds it out, and that's why he tries to lure back in Mr. Freeze after he escapes Arkham with Bane and Ivy, so he can get the serum antidote, whatever the hell it is. So like at the end of the movie, spoilers if you don't know if you care, spoilers here, but he's just like, "You killed my wife. I need revenge," and then Batman's like, "I didn't kill your wife," and then he pulls up this little like bat screen, and it shows Poison Ivy gloating that she basically tried to kill his wife, Dr. Freeze's wife. And he was like, but Batman was like, but I saved her. She's still alive. She's still cryogenically frozen. You can still save her. You can be the doctor you were meant to be, and not this evil, mad genius with your heart buried in snow or something stupid. And I was like, oh no, you just played it on the freeze aspect. That's funny. But then he like opens his arm compartment and gives him like these two vials, and like as soon as they put it in the IV for Alfred, like immediately like the next like night he's like immediately fucking fine, and I'm like yeah that if he was like on his freaking deathbed basically. He was like, because Bruce and Dick were like, yeah, Alfred, you're dying. I can't save you. I can save everybody else, but not you. Oh my God. That's what he did. And I'm like, okay, so Alfred's going to die. That's what I thought. And I was like, oh, wait, they're going to get the cure from Freeze and it's all going to be good. Okay, that makes way more sense. But I'm like, why did you act like he was literally going to die? And then at the last freaking second, be like, oh, he's fine. Dr. Freeze just gives him the hand. Call me in the morning so I can check up on him. Like, I was like, what the fuck? I was like, so as soon as you find out Batman didn't, like, callously murder your wife, you're like, oh, he's not a bad guy. You know what? Fuck Poison Ivy. I'm gonna kill her in Arkham. Cause that's how it ends. She's his cellmate. And he's like, wait, he's like, winter has come early. And then it just like pans out and then like cuts to, Dick and then Bruce and then Barbara all waiting and watching to see if Alfred recovers. And I'm like, what the and the way they end the movie is like, so we're a team now. And Barbara's like, well, I took out Ivy myself, so I should be part of the team too. And Batgirl and Robin, or Dick and Barbara, put their hands together like, are we a team? We're a team. And then Bruce is like, you need to go back to school. You need to go back to college. He's like, you're not going to win. But then Dick's like, you're not going to win this argument. And then he's like, oh, I guess we're a team. And then they all like lock hands. And then they do like one final shot of them all three running with their bat suits on and Robin's suit. And then it like fades out and does like this big epic like it's gonna lead into another movie. Well, the funny thing is, they wanted Joel to do another movie, and it was gonna be a Scarecrow movie, and that's what it was gonna be. But Joel didn't want to do it because obviously it just wasn't great. It seemed to do okay at the box office, but it was considered a failure. But it like made most of its money back, but it didn't like make money. I think it made like enough money so it wasn't like a complete failure, but like it's critically panned. It's like the worst Batman movie, and I get why. But I did see what potential there could have been. And to be honest, like seeing a Joel Schumacher Scarecrow movie would have been interesting if it wasn't like that. Like if it was like Batman and Robin, no. Like that would have been terrible. And that's why that project got canned before it even started. But you could tell that they were leading into this being like a huge success because getting all these big names like Arnold Schwarzenegger, Uma Thurman, George Clooney, like getting those three people, they were like, oh, it's a shoe-in for a box office success. But it wasn't because it was just a bad movie. And it's kind of sad that like George Clooney didn't really get to experience being Batman in a positive way because like he just went down and said like Batman and Robin was his worst movie he's ever done. And according to what I've read and what friends have told me, like if you sent him your movie ticket for that movie, he would reimburse you for the price of the movie ticket. I don't know if that's true or not, but from what I've heard from people and online, that's what he did. Whether or not that's true or not, I have no idea. But that is kind of funny, and that goes to show you how bad this movie truly was. So if I had to rate this movie out of 5 stars, I'd comfortably give it generously a 1.5 stars. If we're being brutally honest, like 1. Like honestly, it's just not good. It's not even like I said, it's not even fun bad. It's just bad. But anyway, those are my thoughts on Batman and Robin. Let me know what you guys thought about the movie. If you guys saw it in the theater, let me know. I want to know what the theater experience of that was like. If you guys saw it, if you didn't, do you still want to see it even after seeing all the reviews and stuff or my video of this? Do you still want to watch it? I think it's still worth a watch, but go in with your expectations of it being bad because it was bad, but I enjoyed it for what it was, I guess. But yeah, that'll do it for me today. That'll do it for my first installment of Rolling to the Movies, and this has been Rolling with Kevin, and I am rolling out. Peace. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to leave a like, comment down below, subscribe, click the bell button for all notifications so you get notified when I upload new videos, go live, post on the community page, all that good stuff. Shout outs to all my Patreon supporters: Matt Y99, Reaper7734, Titled Cal, AJ Gadwa, Oliver Frederick, Zual Atfi, It's Me, Charlize, Joe, William Swift, Griff 17, Charlie McKeon, Reverse Security, Zoo Hall, Preliab, Just Drew, Ari Munson, HHG Fan, George McConnell, Elliot Scott, Benjamin Tellen, Magdalene Massaro, Vic Gomez, Freddie Ladd, Lee Fernay, and TJ Johnson. And I almost forgot about my newest one, Simon Lim Rossman. If I pronounced it wrong, I apologize, but thank you all for supporting me. It really does help out the channel a lot. Thank you to everyone whose name was scrolling across the screen for this screen. Thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate it. Don't forget to also follow me on Facebook and X as well if you want updates on what I'm doing, what I'm working on. If you want updates on when I upload videos, X is the best place to go for that because I always tweet out when I do new videos. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and I am rolling out.